Yeah, from what it seems, I think Life is Good is going to take most of the money and end up being your post time favorite, as he was the morning line favorite on 6 to 5. I think Olympiad, who's going to be my pick, is 2 to 1 on the morning line, and I think he will also be taking a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And the field is Life is Good, and this is no particular order. Life is Good, Hot Rod Charlie, Olympiad, Happy Savior, Zoomer, who I didn't even, and obviously the odds. I told Mary, I was like, I never even heard of the horse, but I looked it up. An American Revolution. That's the field. It's going to be competitive. I think that could uh, help the money out, who I don't think has a chance, but is a fan favorite, is Hot Rod Charlie. Hot Rod Charlie just takes money. No matter when Hot Rod Charlie runs, it's the fan club. He has a club. It's literally a fan club. I've always faded Hot Rod Charlie. Sorry, all the fan clubs. I've never been the biggest fan. Mary, what's your thoughts about Hot Rod Charlie?
I'm just not totally convinced that Rod Charlie is what he was as a 3-year-old as he is as a 4-year-old right now. I
Uh-huh.
mean, there was a lot kind of in his way also at the end of his 3-year-old campaign, and kind of starting with the Haskell and that whole mess that
Yeah.
transpired there. Going forward, just hasn't performed in the way that I expected him to as a 4-year-old. So
Agree with you 100%. But talented horse, never know. Could be the surprise. I think of the middle would be probably the third choice. I think betting would be I think the only chance to beat Life is Good, who I am picking. I'm on the Life is Good train. Can't get off him. Bounce back after the Dubai at the Belmont. Just think it's back on the back of the states where it just dominates. So I'm expecting Life is Good to get it done as my choice. Will be probably the favorite to Mary's choice. Who we got? Who are you rolling with again, Mary?
Olympiad.
Nice. That's right. Yeah. Let's get those two. I think it'll be a battle. I think it'll be a great, maybe it turn up to a good heads up battle. I think it's be a competitive race. Maybe Zoomer will zoom out there just to get his name out and set the pace, and then they could sit off the speed for that one run coming home on that amazing home stretch of Saratoga. And so, yeah, I actually got a little double too for Thursday here. Go race 3, the 3 horse here to start it off. We're in a singlet. Tyler's in a Wyram. That has the Dorado horse will take a little bit of money, and then the Chad Brown horse, the 6, will take a little bit of money, but I think they're both in a bounce. So we're going to go with the 3 to start the double into race 4 with the 1, 2, 5, 7. Let's get those home today there in that double. See if we can get another one of those doubles home. And it should be probably a good payout too. Race 4 is a wide open affair on maiden, so get your popcorn ready for that. I picked a couple prices, so hopefully we can get that done there. What do you think, Mary?
I hope so. And, if you've been watching Saratoga at all this meet, you've seen a lot of prices come in. There hasn't been a ton of chalk coming in, with the
True.
exception of, what was it, Saturday?
Yeah.
Saturday with the Vanderbilt and the Jim Dandy. That's when the chalk basically came in. But I can't think of many other races where you've seen such low odd horses that go off, under even money
Oh yeah.
winning. So
I
it's
was
it's been
felt
great for bettors.
it is. I fell victim in person. When I was in person at Saratoga, I witnessed 2 1-5 shots lose and a 1-2. 3 horses that are, like you said, getting hammered, you know what I mean, and losing. So never know. That's Toga. The graveyard of favorites is accurate. But I snuck in a pick 5. Got one home. Hit the dollar pick 5 last week. Paid about 5,500. Using those chalks to my advantage, where I just couldn't get off of them. I thought it was a great setup for those chalks, and they got busy for me. But the prices came late, and that's how I set it up. I tossed the chalk at the end and got that home. So hey-oh, let's go. A little smoke to that. And let's jump right into that. We have a great interview dialed up. Who we got this week, Mary?
We have trainer Kent Sweezy in the house. He was so much fun to talk to. He has some horses run up Saratoga right now. He's kind of all over the place in his string, so we're really rooting for him.
Yep.
And he was just so much fun to talk to.
Yep. And here we go, Mr. Kent Sweezy. With me this week, Kent Sweezy, trainer coming up. One of my favorites, been following since he started out. The grinder, Mr. Smooth, I also kind of think he is too. I like it there. Appreciate you taking the time, sir, and coming on with us today.
Anytime. Happy to be here.
That's great.
So,
yeah.
Here you're in Saratoga.
Yep. So I got up here a couple of days ago. We have a string here. We have a string at Monmouth, and then we still have horses down in Palmetto that stay year round. Those are kind of the Florida breds and maybe the cheaper claimers that are down there. We got a couple groups that like to claim down there. And then we brought the turf horses up to Monmouth and had a good meet there, been able to ship around a little bit. When you go there, you've got 5 or 6 different tracks to race at. So you got a bunch of condition books on your desk, but that's good because you've got a lot of options too. And obviously we brought a little string up here to Saratoga, and it's our first year having horses here, which is very cool on one hand, obviously, but at the same time, it's a little bit of pressure and it's a lot deeper waters. So the 6 that we brought up, they're probably our best 6. So we're happy to have them. And so we're kind of getting kicked off here a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. And how like you said, it's the difficult, like getting jockeys wise, is that like you kind of get the pick, like you said, it's kind of difficult to even get in the door. At your level, you kind of take what you kind of get, right?
Yeah, for sure. We came up here, I guess I won a race up here a couple years ago, which is shipping from Monmouth, which is really easy ship. And then last year we came up and had a couple on some New York sired stakes and things like that. And we got here and I drove around in a buddy of mine's golf cart. We just drove around the backside, and I hadn't been up here in a couple of years. And I elbowed my buddy and I said, man, we got to have horses up here next year. And so sure enough, we did. We only got 6, but it's a good number. You got 1 groom, 1 rider, and 1 hot walker. So it works out good. As far as jockeys go, like it's the who's who. It's like you walk around, you say, there's Johnny V, there's Rosario on a horse, and they're not just a lot of tracks you get, and they're just kind of going around there. They've got their boots on and a helmet in their hand, but they're not ready to ride one. You come up to Saratoga, these guys are working in the morning too, and it's really cool to see. We breeze on the turf a lot, and so seeing those guys out there working for Christoph and Chad, it's cool. It's like being at a all-star game kind of thing. So it's cool.
I totally agree with that. For my first experience at Saratoga, I think exactly what you're saying was like an all-star game.
For sure.
Like a guy from the Northwest, someone like me, I don't see any of it, up in the Northwest. Like that's like, those are just like, whoa, like you said, it's like boom, boom. So
exactly. Like a Saturday afternoon every morning is a Saturday afternoon. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. It's dope.
So going back in time a little bit, let's hear about your background in racing. You have a lot in Monmouth and Florida. Where are you from? How did you get into the industry?
So my parents have a breeding farm in Lexington. And so growing up, that's really all I did. Every summer, every spring break, every weekend was spending time on the farm. So we would prep yearlings for the sales. That would be, when trainers and people on the racetrack, they think, well, what's the highlight of what you do would be winning a race. On the farm, the highlight, number 1, is getting a happy and healthy foal. That's the hardest part, number 1. And then it's getting them safe and sound to the Saratoga sale, which is next week here, or mostly go to Keeneland September for their big sale. And so growing up, that's all I really knew how to do. And so we come up here in the summer times, we'd sell yearlings. And then one day, Christophe Clement came by the farm to look at a mare and foal one day, and I was out in the field mowing grass and cutting trees down and stuff, and he asked me, why don't you come down to Payson Park and work with me for 3 months down there and just kind of get a little track experience. And thought that was a great idea, and heard all about Payson and how much fun it is and the racetrack. And when I first got there, I could handle any horse you gave me, and I'm a hard worker, but I could barely saddle one up, and I couldn't do the proper rundowns and things that everybody seems to just know how to do on the racetrack. I had to learn all those things. Yeah. So Christoph had a great team that taught me a lot about sort of in the barn and how to interact with the staff and how the grooms work and things like that. And so that was a great start. And I told him, I said, all right, Christoph, I think I'm ready to go back to the farm life. I like the farm life, and I think I'm ready to go back. And he said, no, you're going to go to California. So he hooked me up with Owen Hardy, and I ended up working for Christoph for a year. And then I did Owen Hardy for 3. And then I came back and worked for Jimmy Jerkins in New York. It was actually the day after he ran 1-2 in the Travers. VE Day beat Wicked Strong right at the wire in the Travers. And he called me the next day and said, I need help. Will you come back and help me? And I jumped at it. So I did that, and that was great. Jimmy's the man. He's the hardest working trainer that I know. He puts so much thought into what he does with every horse. It's definitely the opposite of a factory. It would be as detailed oriented to the horse more so than any of the other guys that I worked for. Both Christoph and Owen are excellent horsemen. They win tons of races. But I think Jimmy Jerkins is he'd be my top. And I'd say a lot of people that worked under the Jerkins would also probably appreciate that and agree.
Yeah.
So, been on my own for, I don't know, it's probably been 5 years. And we started out going to Tampa. We left Tampa and came up to Monmouth. And Monmouth has kind of become a little bit of a home for us. Every year we've come up here. This is our 4th year up here. And like I said, you get a lot of condition books on your desk, but it sure is fun because that's what we do it for, is to win the races. So it's been a somewhat of a smooth transition, I guess, sort of progression. It was tough at first. We had to waiting for horses to come in. It's like watching grass grow. Right. So you have to, if they're not coming, you got to do it yourself. Right. So we went out and, like I said, every penny the operation made went right back into the claim box to claim more horses, because that was how we could do. I thought I could do a better job than the guy next to me. And so anyway, now we're here and we got horses in 3 different states, and things get hectic, but that's part of it, and we love to do it, so it's fun.
That's awesome. And I saw something from a article you did. It said we're doing old school stuff with cheaper horses. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I'd say Jimmy Jerkins would be the world's best claiming trainer. I mean, there's nobody else out there that puts the attention to what he does. You know, horses go on ice 2 times a day before and after training. They get done up in all kinds of different things. And, you know, the afternoons are a lot of barns you go to. The afternoon is just when the guys come back and throw the feed tubs in. You know, maybe they pick the stalls and do the shed row again, but Jimmy's barn, it's in full swing even in the afternoon. You have horses out grazing, you got horses in ice. It's a serious operation. So it's those small things like the care and taking care of the feet and making sure they're iced, and happy horses win races. Everybody talks about that. And I think Jimmy's horses are pretty happy. And so he is a great role model. I still see him every morning up here, which is really cool. But I thought that's I think what it takes is a little bit of effort. I talked to a buddy of mine on the rail today at Saratoga, and he took a horse off a big trainer and ran it in a grade 1 the other day, and it ran really good. And he just said it wasn't like we reinvented the wheel here. We just took really good care of a good horse, you know. And a lot of times, and I'm got a big barn now myself, but I still like to think that we've got the attention to detail that we did when we only had 12, say. So and it's true. You're not gonna, you know, you can't make a horse sprout wings, but you can sure make them happy, and that goes a long way too.
I agree, and that's what I've kind of known about you, and what I really like about how you carry yourself and how you run your operation is I know for sure that you're putting the care first on the horses. That is something that's just known within the horse community also, that people I've talked to just outside of this. So we appreciate that. We love your type of trainer, your attitude and your approach to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Good stuff.
For sure.
We love it. We love that. It's carrying over. Oh, sorry, Mary, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that you were talking about, you know, back when you first started out on your own, you had these handful of horses. What was the biggest hurdle that you faced going in on your own as a trainer?
Probably, to be completely honest with you, I think it would probably be a little bit of the managing of money type of thing, how expensive everything is. Right. And just being able to juggle, having to wear a lot of hats. You know, when you really first start out, you're the one that sits there at 4 o'clock doing the stalls, and you're back at night checking them and watering at 7:30 at night. And once you grow, your stable grows a little bit, you have to start hiring people. And I swear, I think you can make more money doing it yourself with 10 horses than you can having 100. But it's the exposure, it's the winning the races and getting the W's that counts. But it's amazing when you do start to, when the stable grows, that, you know, it might take a month. When I send Mary, if you have a horse with me, I'm going to send you a bill on the 1st of August. I'm lucky to get paid by the 1st of September by some people. You know, some people just take longer to pay than others. And the feed company, they're sitting there knocking at the door, wanting their check, and the boys are there with their hand out wanting their check too. So the first couple of months when you do start growing, it's tough because there's not much money coming in, but you might go from having 12 horses to 24, and your payroll doubles, your feed company doubles. So that was tricky. But once you get level and you get your numbers good, we're not making a ton of money, but you can afford to pay your guys good, and the horses are well taken care of, and you got a decent living. And so it's a good life. So I think that's what we got going for us, I guess.
That's awesome. And kind of on that note, this year You have 252 starts, and 95 of them have finished in the top 3 with 30
We'll
W's.
take it.
So
We'll take it.
Yeah, that's solid. Like what you're saying, to keep it turning,
Yeah,
keep the turn
exactly.
going. Like you said, you'll grow naturally, and then I think in time you're going to start getting the big boy horses.
Yeah.
You have you have the one Fat Man is your home. What about Fat Man? Would you say would you like when you started with Fat Man? How'd you kind of know maybe this was going to be something special?
He just kind of blossomed. It's weird. Like when I bought him at the sale, when Joe Sharp is my buddy who we kind of bought him from, and I text Joe and just said, what are you thinking? And he said, well, we got a lot of options with him. We could run him for here in Saratoga. We could try this. And they said, you know what, at the end of the day, the guy that owned him had a lot of babies coming in. So he said, let's just get him off the book. So Joe gave me the thumbs up on him. So I knew he was okay.
Yeah.
And obviously his form said he was a good horse, and he's okay as far as soundness goes. So we really, like I said, we didn't do very much. We just took really good care of him and put him in the right spots. Joe shipped him around a lot. He danced a lot of dances out of town, and he's just a really cool horse. So I'm not going to say he's at the twilight of his career, but he's tailed off a little bit. We're kind of hoping we can get him back. I gave him a little bit of a break, so we're going to try to find a spot for him here in Saratoga towards the end of the meet. Ooh. And see if we can't get him back on track. He loves Gulfstream Park. He loves the one-turn mile. Yeah. So if we can get a little bit more distance, maybe 7 furlongs up here at Toga would be an ideal spot. But he's doing good. And I tell you what, when whoever rides the horse, it's their favorite horse because everybody on the track says, oh, there's Fat Man, there's Fat Man. And he stands like a statue there on the rail. And he's a really cool horse. So we're lucky to have him.
That's the good stuff. I love that. And Toga, this week, you're coming in hot with a 2-year-old Illicit, correct?
Yep.
How's that going, and what made you want to go for Togas? That was kind of a goal. You want to have a 2-year-old. You just let's get a Toga type thing.
Yeah, and I'm looking at I looked at all kinds of condition books, right? And there's Delaware's got one for a maiden special weight going 5/8 for girls for a $40,000 purse. Monmouth has got something a little bit better than that. You've got a couple different spots here. But where can you run for 100 plus is crazy. And not to mention she's super well bred, and both all the connections will be up here, and this is where they kind of want to. They're all excited about it, and we are too. She's worked really good, and she worked good at OBS, the OBS 2-year-old sales. That's why she cost so much money, and she's just, knock on wood, she's done nothing wrong. So wouldn't be necessarily ideal. I kind of wanted to run her 5.5 on the dirt. She didn't really come around the way we wanted to the last race before this, but now she really has. So it's 5.5 on the turf, so it's going to be a break and go. But she's rapid, so and she's a really good girl. She's a sweetheart, and I think coming up here, some horses might not handle the ship to Saratoga, the walk to the paddock, walking through the crowd, all kind of the scenes and the lights. But she's got a good head on her shoulder, so I hope she can run good for us.
And will you correct me if I feel like is it End of Mischief and Lemon Drop Kid? Was it?
Yep.
Okay,
which is a unique kind of a thing. Lemon Drop Kid's maybe more known for that distance, but she's definitely would be more of the Into Mischief, which is the short coupled, and she's rapid. So
I like that. I like that combo. I love Lemon Drop Kid.
Same.
Yeah, I'm a homer with Lemon Drop Kid.
So I've got Kendrick riding, or Kendrick Carmouche, and he's worked her a couple times, and he sort of gave us the thumbs up after this last work, and he said she's ready to go. So we're psyched about that. And then we got another filly for the same connections running the next day, 1.5 first level allowance race. Yeah, very well bred filly by See the Stars. We got our black type in Florida, so we ticked that box there. Yeah. And then now we're just kind of trying to boost her earnings a little bit and see if we can't maybe find the 1.5 might be to her liking. Thankfully, she's by See the Stars, so she should be able to handle that. And she shipped up from Monmouth the other day, so she's also in good shape. And anyway, we're kind of looking forward to a big weekend.
I love it. That's what it's about. This is the big stage, like you said, and you got 2 horses and I witnessed a couple of those maiden special weight races. They're pretty intense on the turf. Yeah. I mean, there's so many, like you said, there's so many people with your approach too, bringing their best. Everyone's bringing their best.
For sure.
Trying, you're coming up here with the goods and stuff.
Yeah, big time.
You're going against them all. So what kind of goals would you say then going forward? What do you got? What's up for the Sweezy team? You would say this next year?
Obviously getting fresh horses in. You can claim a little bit. You can keep the ball rolling there. But the yearling sales are coming up, and that's sort of a big time when we'll try to hit those pretty hard. The Saratoga sale is it's expensive up here this week. Yeah. And so we might not get anything bought at this sale, but we'll be around, and you got to show your face a little bit, kind of shake hands.
Yeah.
The part of the reason for being up here, I mean, I could very well have sent Illicit right from Monmouth up to Saratoga. Could have been done. Could have stabled her right there, kept her right there, having your saddle tails come out, and then there's 1,000 people watching you, and you get yourself a good rider and good grooms, and everybody looks high and tight, and it's you're showing off a little bit too, but you're showing that you're there, and that we're up here just like everybody else is. And New York's expensive. It's an expensive place to be, but like you saw last weekend, it's the place to be. So there's no question that being at the sales is a benefit. So, like, to answer your question, we'll hope to get some yearlings in. The 2-year-old sales, we probably picked up maybe 14, 15 2-year-olds, which is huge. Bunch of good guys bought in some horses for us, which is great. And so they'll obviously try to run this summer into the fall, but you've got to have crops. I always tell people you have to have crops of horses coming in. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. So if you go buy a 2-year-old that, you know what, a lot of 2-year-olds take some time. They might have a little setback along the way that doesn't get you to the races like you want to. But if you have yearlings in the pipeline, it gives you a little bit of confidence that the stable's still good. Don't worry, the stable's still okay. And so the September sale at Keeneland is the big sale. And then after that is the October sale at Phasig. So we have, in the past, we picked up a lot of state bred horses. Maybe they're Delaware certified, Virginia breds, Maryland breds, New York bred, New York sired. We're trying to get some Kentucky breds. We want some good blood.
Yeah.
And it's fun to win those races everywhere that we're doing it. And it's just, if we're going to try to sort of come up here next year with, say, let's bring 20 next year. We had none last year. This year we got 6. Let's try to bring 20 next year. So that's their goals. My goal is to get my horses in tomorrow for Saturday. That's the next goal. Exactly. And after that's Thursday. So there's a bunch of short-term goals. But as far as the long-term goal goes, I want to come up here next year and have a good sized string and be able to make some noise. I can't say that we're going to win a race this year. It's hard to do up here.
Yeah.
But that will be another short-term goal, is to try to win at Saratoga again. So
yeah, exactly. Well, you heard it here. If you are listening, Kent Sweezy also snuck in some good advice. Also for some maybe trainers up there for up and coming there. Make sure you have a pipeline. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's
for sure.
Be more accurate in horse racing for sure. Once again, sir, thank you for giving us your time and
anytime
coming on. This has been sweet. We could have went for an hour. And good luck and have safe trips this weekend at Saratoga.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too. Best of luck.
See ya.
We're back. How sweet was that, huh?
Yeah, he was just the coolest to talk to and just super easygoing. Gave a lot of great advice for anyone who is looking to go into training.
He did. He stuck in tons of info there, looking back on that interview. So thank you, Mr. Kent Sweezy, for giving us your time. Good luck again on your trips with the Saratoga run you're on right now. Let's get a couple home. And we got a little horse of the week here. What we got here, Mary?
So this was submitted by our guest for next week, Joey Martinez, who's a jockey, professional jockey up in New York. And it was a pretty funny tweet. We will definitely tag or quote tweet or whatever the cool thing is to do these days on Twitter, the tweet that this photo comes from, because it says, "Fellas, treat your women right." So it was just it was a cute little horse of the week that we had for you today.
It was getting those shoes dialed in. Treat your women right and treat your horses right. Darn it. Look at that. How happy is that horse? I love this stuff. Horses just get me. I'm such a sucker. All right. And we got a play from me for this Thursday here. We're going race 7. We got a Mott horse, always late, gonna be on time today. Let's get this horse home. Been knocking on the door. Couple 4th place finishes here. 2nd off the layoff with Mott. That's a 23% number. I will take my chances with Mr. Mott on 23% any day of the week and some. And give me Ortiz with that, who just got a new agent. So interesting there. So we like it. Has 1 race at Saratoga, ran a 77. This horse should get it done. Always late, gonna be on time. Let's get it home today. And there's that. Man, what do you think on that horse, Mary?
Let's get her home.
Let's do it. Hey, thank you everyone for stopping by again. Mary and I appreciate all the love everyone's been getting. I got shirts coming. They'll be done on the 11th. Stuff coming out. A lot of stuff coming for the future of us. We got a great, also some people coming on the show in the future. The stuff's cooking. So we appreciate all the love you guys are giving us. And let's have cash some winning tickets. Horses have the safe trips. Everyone have a good day.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye-bye.